Hello, my name is Watkins-Sennette, and today I'm going to walk you through a detailed guide to teaching push-ups using the 3 stages of motor learning: the cognitive stage, the associative stage, and the autonomous stage. We'll look at how learners progress from simply understanding the movement to refining their form to performing push-ups automatically, and I'll share practical tips, common mistakes, and progression strategies at each stage. This presentation will cover the 3 main parts. First, I'll give a quick breakdown of what motor learning is and how these stages work in the fitness context. Second, we'll take the push-up, one of the most common and effective upper body exercises, and map it across the 3 stages, looking at what the learners are experiencing and what the instructor should do. Finally, I'll show you a realistic push-up progression plan along with tips for safety, motivation, and long-term improvement. What is motor learning? Motor learning refers to the process of improving the smoothness and accuracy of movements through practice. In other words, it's how our body and brain work together to learn a physical skill. There are 3 distinct stages: the cognitive stage, where the learner is figuring out the basic movement pattern and making lots of mistakes; the associative stage, where the movement becomes a lot more smoother, errors decrease, and the learner starts refining their technique; and then the last or 3rd stage is autonomous stage, where the movement feels natural and requires very little conscious effort. With the first stage, the cognitive stage, the learner's main goal is understanding what to do and how to do it. If we're teaching push-ups, this is where you explain and demonstrate proper form step by step. Let me walk you how I would teach it. So first, to get into a starting position, you just get on the ground, hands slightly wider than shoulder width, with your wrists stacked under your shoulders and your fingers pointing forward. Make sure you align your body straight line from your head to your heels, and make sure you have no sagging hips or your butt raised. So then you straighten your legs out completely. Then you lower your chest to the floor by bending at the elbows, keeping elbows about 45 degrees angle from the body. Then to press, you press using your palms of your hands, engaging your chest, shoulders, and triceps, and returning to the starting position. Now let's cover some of the common mistakes I often see with doing push-ups. So a lot of things I see wrong when people do push-ups is their hands be too far apart and elbows will be flared at a 90 instead of a 45 angle degree. Or being too close together. This is not one of the beginner variations. This is more of a intermediate or advanced variation of a tricep push-up. But what I'm teaching is a standard push-up. Another mistake I often see is like when your hips sag and incomplete range of motion. So you want to go as low as you possibly can. A lot of people like try and touch their chest to the ground, or like think of your nose touching the ground to get as low as possible. Once you have the basic pattern down, then you can move to the associative stage. This is where your form starts to improve, movements feel smoother, and errors become less frequent. Here you can introduce controlled reps for about 8 to 12 full push-ups and get feedback after each set rather than during every rep. A good strategy is to use video feedback or like mirror so the learner can self-correct. You can also start by adding small challenges to develop control. For example, a slow 3-second lowering phase or pausing at the bottom to build strength in that position. Progression here might mean moving from an incline push-up to a standard forward push-up. In the autonomous stage, the push-up becomes automatic. The learner can maintain good form without consciously thinking about every detail. Now, my role is to worry less about constant correction and more about keeping training challenging and engaging. I will increase volume, giving you more reps and sets, and introducing more variations like the plyometric push-ups for power, single arm or archer push-ups for strength, and decline push-ups for more upper chest activation to build your overall chest. Feedback is at this stage is minimal and focused. For example, reminding the learner to maintain shoulder stability or avoid hip sagging as they fatigue. And also in my PowerPoint, I added a progression table, and this table shows how push-up training evolves across each stage. My PowerPoint, I also added how I added strategies for maintaining motivation in practice. I feel that tracking your progress, not if it's like how many reps you do, or like how many good reps you do, or how long you can do push-ups. I feel like you'll be motivated if you do push-ups with music or having like a workout partner, using like small challenges or like rewards, and then keeping practice sessions short but frequent.